What's going on, everybody? What's going on? Welcome back to Geekly Goods, guys. We are here tonight to talk some anime, man. I mean, it's about time. I feel like the channel is split between movies, TV, anime, mostly a little bit of gaming here and there, but it's nice to finally talk some anime with some brilliant creators, guys. I mean, I'm joined by some of anime's top experts, y'all. I'm here with the two guys from the Amateur Otaku. One of them is Brandon. He's a Scarlet fan over on Twitter. And man, this guy, him and Isaac come together and do a podcast very regularly on the latest in anime. And they did a Sword Art Online episode that I really enjoyed. You guys really got to check them out. And then Isaac also writes for Wabam Entertainment. And this guy is the Fire Emblem expert. And he knows everything Fire Emblem and Nintendo. Man, I'm joined by those two and also Perp Minded from over at the Perp Minded YouTube channel. This guy talks everything under the sun, movies, TV, anime, gaming, tech. I mean, I heard him talking about the iPhone the other day, and I was just like, man, this guy has a voice that's just made for radio, guys. You got to go check him out. Check out Perp Minded on YouTube, and then go to anchor.com and go ahead and check out the Amateur Otaku. But I'm going to pull them in real quick and unmute everybody. What's going on? Can you guys all hear me?
Yo.
Yep.
Heck yeah. What's going on? What's going on? Brandon, how you doing tonight, man?
I'm doing good, man. Really excited to be here and talk some good stuff.
Man, I'm excited to have you talk some good stuff. Isaac, how you doing, man? How's your night?
It's going good. It's 3 a.m. here, but it's going good.
That's good, man. That's good. And thanks for joining us. I know it's late over where you are, so thanks for staying up for us, man.
Always.
And Perp, what's going on, buddy? How you doing?
Hey man, I'm doing good, man. Kind of crappy weather out, but you know, it's nighttime anyway, so it doesn't really matter that it's raining. I'm not going to really go anywhere anyways, but you know, I want to thank you again for having me on. You know, it's a pleasure.
Hey man, thanks for coming through, bro. I really enjoy your channel. I love your live streams, man. The random live streams are always super cool. You and the guys just chopping it up about the latest, man. So thanks for coming through.
No problem.
All right, guys. So let's dive right into the top 5 Studio Ghibli films, guys. I mean, hey, these are some of Japan's best. I mean, let's be real. The animation is crisp. The music is amazing. The concepts, the stories, they're all really beautiful. Everybody calls Miyazaki the Japanese Disney. It's just those films are beautiful and they're close to my heart. I know I can say that I really very much enjoy these movies. I've seen almost all of them, but I haven't seen every single one. There are a few of them that I got to go back and watch too, just to get a little bit of a reminder. But I really love tuning into the library on HBO Max. I know they were kind of spread out before, but I've been lucky. I know not everybody in here has had access to that, but I've been lucky enough to go back and watch them. But guys, let's get started with our top 5, and I'm going to go to Isaac first. What's your number 5, man?
Number 5. Here I thought we were starting with number 3, but number 5 is actually Spirited Away. It's rather unpopular to use that one as a 5th, but yeah, it's just like many. I love that movie because of the fantastical and sorry, I'm started it sometime. It's rather late after all, but it's a fantastical nature, it's imagination and the pure innocence joined together and made a breathtaking story, so to speak. You get what I'm saying?
Oh, very much, man. The story is beautiful. I mean, we get to see dragons, pigs. So yeah, I know what you're saying about the nature. We get to see all these animals, and just there's something about that movie that really pulls me into it every time, from the story to the music and the characters. Brandon, how you feel about Spirited Away?
I like that movie. I like it a lot. I truly enjoyed that movie a lot. To me, I'm weird when it comes to Miyazaki because for some reason, the movies that I like of the library of Ghibli's, not just Miyazaki, because he's not the only director, he's just the most known, but from Studio Ghibli, the movies that I most like are the most human and grounded ones. And there's something about and it's because the way they use fantasy, for example, Spirited Away, but they use the fantasy in such a mature way because it's all about a girl that needs to learn to let go and start over. It's all about her figuring out that yes, you left all your friends and everything that you knew, everything that you were comfortable with, but now you have to adapt to this new world. And that whole experience that she goes through is her learning that it's okay to change, to grow, to mature. And it's this beautiful story of this girl that becomes resilient in spite of everything that happens. Because I'm gonna be honest, if I see my parents turn into pigs, I don't know, I'd be kind of scared and kind of weirded out.
Real.
But I like how they use her as a very strong, first of all, a fantastic female lead, which the female leads in Ghibli's movie list and library are fascinating. Like, they're really double down on female leads, which a lot of times you don't see, but they all have this agency and this character. And I forgot the name of the main character of the movie, but she's no different. So for me, it's not on my top 5, mainly because my top 5 have to do a lot with the more grounded ones to a degree, or the Innocents, but definitely Spirited Away. There's something about all Ghibli movies. They just stand out in what they do, and I like how this one stands out with a very relatable topic, because that's the best thing about these movies. They pick one idea and they just expand upon it in such a brilliant way that by the end of the movie, you've learned the lesson, but you've gone on such a journey with the character that, I don't know, it's fascinating.
Nah, you put it perfectly, man. I mean, I need to go back and watch that one. That's one that I haven't rewatched on my recent list, but I really just love the animation per usual, and I just love the story a lot. What do you think about this one? I know you've seen this one out of the Studio G
Yeah,
library.
I'm unfortunate because I've only watched 2 Studio Ghibli movies in my whole entire life, mainly because of like the access. You know, like I'm not for buying like the DVDs because I know over here at Best Buy they were like always like 30 to 25 bucks. I was like, no, I'm not gonna do that. I could wait, or I could just find it some other way. But I'm glad that they put it on HBO Max because now I can go dive into that stuff that I have never experienced. But watching Spirited Away, that's the first one I started with because I heard like a lot of things. That's the one that I mainly heard of. Just watching that movie and experiencing that for the first time, it's just like, yo, this. I could see why you would say that the guy that creates this is like the Japanese version of Walt Disney and stuff, because these movies definitely have a certain type of magic to them that you could say is missing in today's animation and stuff. It's just like, yo, this is like the fantasy and just the world and just the animation and just how it just comes to life and stuff. It's breathtaking. It's just, I feel like this is something that's missing in today's like animated movies and stuff. But like I definitely plan on watching a lot more. Like I think the next one I'm gonna watch is the princess movie. I forget what it's called.
Princess
Oh,
Mononoke.
Princess Mononoke.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch that one next, and then after that, I don't know where to go from there. But yeah,
I can give you a list on what you could go through.
If I may interject, when he says he's going to give you a list, my friend, he's going to give you a list.
I definitely like a list though, because like I watched Howl. The second one I watched was Howl's Moving Castle, which I really liked. I think I like that more than Spirited Away. Not the fact that I didn't even know that Christian Bale was in there, which was crazy. I found out that like after I got done watching, but like the voice sounded familiar. I was like, that sounds familiar. This guy there sounds like Batman or whatnot. But I was just like, whatever. But you know, I definitely am looking forward to exploring more of the movies and stuff and whatnot.
Oh man, just about every one of them is very worthwhile. And I wanted to touch on something that you had said about this Studio Ghibli. I mean, they build worlds that are so massive in the span of only an hour sometimes. And it's just honestly so believable, and you get so wrapped
Mhm.
up in the world that you're in. It's so wonderfully written, and it pulls you into it and gets you really connected to its characters, to the story, to where they're going. I mean, it pulls you into the world in like I said, in only an hour. And I
And
love these movies.
I don't mean to cut you off, but I do want to mention that it is kind of it's different seeing like an anime that's stretched out to like almost 2 hours. It's it's definitely a different experience because like you're so used to watching an anime and only be 20 minutes. It's
Yep.
rare to see it's rare to see an anime episode at like 40 minutes, which the only two that I could think of off the top of my head was like Shield Hero and Fate Zero. Yeah, Fate Zero. That's like the only two animes I could think off the top of my head that did that. But I just wanted to throw that out. But
No, you're right. It's very rare. I mean, it feels like a big long episode of one awesome anime.
It also won the Oscar for Best Animated Movie.
What's that?
Spirited Away also won Oscar for Best Animated Movie.
Yep.
that's crazy.
And it held the record, right, until another one came out.
Your Name.
Yep, there we go. How Miyazaki?
No. It was Princess Mononoke was the most profitable animated movie. Then it was Your Name. Sorry, my bad.
Oh no, you're good, man. We just had a quick comment here from Diego saying how Miyazaki must win his second Oscar for How Do You Live. He should have won more for The Wind Rises and Howl's Moving Castle. I even think he could have got Princess Mononoke, but I know that's a stretch. That is such a good Studio Ghibli film, guys. All right, Brandon, let's move to yours, man. What's your number 5?
Castle in the Sky.
I love that movie.
Oh, I love that movie too.
Wait, Isaac, did you say you loathe or did you say you love?
Love.
Okay, cool. Because
after there's no Ghibli movie that I don't like. So
yeah, and I think what I like about this one is that after My Neighbor Totoro, even though this one came before, this was the one that feels the most simple kids movie like, but there's so much depth in it that as an adult I can enjoy. You know what I mean? Like Princess Mononoke is not a film for kids. No matter how you word it, it's not a film for kids. It's a film that's mature, that's meant to convey a message. This is a song. This is a film that is designed for kids because of its playfulness. A lot of the playfulness and the comedy reminds me of old Dragon Ball episodes. Like there's a lot of that here, like slapstick and stuff like that. But the idea of human beings being the ones that are supposed to take care of nature, which is always a big topic in Studio Ghibli's films. Like they're very pro. Not that they're tree huggers, but they're very pro on mankind's responsibility of taking care of the people and nature around them. But this one in particular, on the whole mysticism of Laputa, the idea of what humans do, the dangers of technology. Like you can see how this one is like sets the tone for what many more movies of Ghibli studio are going to talk about. Like if you wanted to know what they're about, this was a great starting point. And I think it was one of the first major movies that they did as a studio, because I know that Nausicaa is considered a Ghibli movie, but it wasn't by Studio Ghibli. Studio Ghibli didn't exist yet.
Yeah, Castle was their first one.
Was the first one. And what a way to knock it out of the park. And of course, the fact that Mark Hamill does a fantastic job as the villain.
Yes.
It's phenomenal. And can we take a minute and talk about all the voice acting in these movies? Like the people that they pick. Like, and yes, you can watch it in original Japanese and they're fantastic. But all the people that they pick for the translations. And here we're going to say that the relationship that they had with Disney is part of the reason of why we got so many amazing translations, even though then Disney became kind of mean. But the voice acting in this movie is also pretty awesome. So I like Castle in the Sky a lot.
Absolutely.
And the whole thing with the robots in the end is just pretty badass. Robots taking care of nature. Yeah.
Yeah, I like the whole concept of them falling out of the sky. That has to do with my love for Kingdom Hearts. So anything where characters are like saved by some kind of pendant in this case, or they're floating due to discovering a Keyblade or whatever in Kingdom Hearts. It's a cool theme in movies. And I like this one a lot. I mean, James Vanderbeek was in it as well. Did a wonderful job as Pazu. I really the animation in this does, you're right, kind of remind you a little bit of Dragon Ball. I mean, to the animation and the style and things like that. I mean, it does have that Dragon Ball look, that very early mid 80s anime look and vibe. So you can kind of feel that. What's that?
That grainy filter.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And it's nice to kind of go back to the old school anime and see like stuff that came out, in my case, before I was born, just to kind of get like a little bit of a springboard and see like what they were doing before Dragon Ball Z, because that was, I would say that Pokemon and that were like my first two anime shows. So once I seen that, it's just nice to get a reference of the past.
Yeah.
Not to go off topic, but did you guys see the new movie that they're working on? The new Studio Ghibli movie that's like 3D.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird. It kind of gives me like a Tim Burton type of vibe to it.
I did not like the 3D animation. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of it either. I think you could do just way more with 2D. Like I like the hybrid of like 2D mixed with like 3-dimensional, like as long as they don't overdo it with the 3D stuff, like I'm cool with it. But to just like go ahead.
No, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, I thought you were going to say no, but like I prefer 2D animation. I just thought it was weird looking at that. I was just like, this kind of looks like a horror movie.
Yeah, I wasn't feeling it either. You put it perfectly when you said it looked Tim Burton-esque. It just didn't really have the Studio Ghibli vibe to me. And that's one thing about their movies I like. They always have similar art styles every single movie, and it kind of pulls you into a world like it's supposed to be. And this just feels off. Feels off base. My bad, Isaac. Did I cut you off?
No. I said yeah, because I agree.
Yeah,
are you guys talking about How Do You Live?
I think that's what it's called. I just seen it scrolling on Twitter. Yeah, How Do You Live?
Yeah, I haven't seen it. I gotta look at it, but I gotta agree with all you guys, especially with you, Pert-minded. Some of the best modern anime is when it's the perfect blend of a little bit of, it's like beautiful animation with accents of CG. That's the best anime. Like, for example, one of the best animes that I think that has done this very well, like the newest Sword Art Online Alicization does it. Like it's built in, and it's so well done. And then the later seasons of My Hero has done a lot too.
Yeah,
I would even say Attack on Titan. You know, because they only use the 3D animation is when they're using the 3D maneuver gear, or they're using the Colossal Titan or something like that to put emphasis on a certain scene.
I think the latest season did a lot better job than the second season. The second season, some of the CG moments were kind of shot, but the third season, they learned their lesson. It was amazing.
Did y'all ever watch Zoids?
Yeah.
Whenever I think of like 2D mixed with 3D, Zoids is like kind of what I instantly jump to. It just really, and especially for an early 2000s anime, late 90s anime, it did a pretty good job of blending that 3D into the 2D environment. Now, don't get on me too much because I haven't watched it in forever, but I'll go back and watch some clips every now and then. It looks pretty dope still.
Bro, you're taking me back to Toonami, bro.
Yeah,
I haven't even watched it.
Well, I I was just looking at like the old Toonami block. I was like, that block was so fire. Even though I just watched Dragon Ball Z, it's just like, yo, those were the
Yeah.
days. It just brings me back. I was like, take me back to my 9-year-old self, sitting down watching Dragon Ball Z and eating kid cuisine. Like at the same time, which is classic.
Sweet.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I remember those days. That I remember just getting out of school and just ready for the latest Dragon Ball Z episode. I would
Dude,
hate when they were like restart mid-season though, because the
Yes,
dub wasn't
yes.
caught up.
They ran out of episodes, so we had to go back to the Saiyans. Like I was like, oh my god! But I think that moment, like I'm glad that it happened because now it's just like like playing a Dragon Ball Z game, playing through the story doesn't bother me anymore because it's just like, yeah, we've been through this like so many times.
Are you talking about Kakarot?
Oh no, I'm talking about just like games in general that always go
got
through,
you.
like the same sagas and stuff like that.
I thought maybe you're referencing Kakarot because I got that game and it definitely goes through the story. It feels like playing one big Dragon Ball Z saga.
Sweet.
But I'll go into my number 5 real quick, guys, and that is Howl's Moving Castle. I mean, I just talk about blending 2D and 3D animation, by the way.
That castle, bro.
The castle is just so amazing. It's colossal. It's phenomenally blended into this world. Again, this is another Studio Ghibli movie where you're just pulled into it and you're immersed in the characters. I love Howl, and I love this movie so much. Calcifer is such a great character every time, especially in the like towards the end where he like flames up and all the flames just like fill the castle with this colorful fire. It's just so well done. It's charming, just like most of the Studio Ghibli films. The creature that Howl turns into is just absolutely crazy. Like I remember watching that again recently and I was like, dang, I don't remember it looking that cool and immaculate. And it was just an awesome movie through and through. I like the way they handled curses because they all just kind of came together and had to like live with it for a bit. But it was nice to see them pull out of it and pull through it in the end. And I really enjoyed this movie, guys. Isaac, what do you think, man? How's moving? That's my number 5.
Honestly, I enjoy it for the same reasons as you do, but truth be told, I argue that it is one, in my honest opinion, one of the weakest actually, because like Brandon, I'm more of I prefer their grounded stuff, so to speak, over the more, even though I love the fantastical. You get what I'm saying?
No, I understand. Trust me, I got some casuals in mind, but I had to start mine out with a fantasy one. But yeah, I get it. Like some of the ones like Whispers of the Heart. I watched another one the other day for the very first time. I had to try to maybe one of you guys will bring it up, but it was a really good one, really another casual one where the
Returns?
No. I watched that probably about 3 weeks ago, but the one I watched recently, it was where the love interest thought he was her brother.
Oh,
I can't remember the name of that one. I'll have to search through my notes for that one. But real quick, Brandon, what do you think, man? How's Moving Castle number 5?
It's good. I like it. I would say that's one of the movies. That's kind of the movie that got me into Ghibli, especially because the music was phenomenal. I'm a musician myself, and that whole waltz that everybody plays in YouTube videos for Howl's Moving Castle, it's just fantastic. The music, that's one of those that captures me with the music. And I like how they double down on how troubled all their characters are. Even those characters that to a degree you think have it all figured out, they still got something they need to fix. So and how the whole thing of the movie, what drives it is the idea that these characters are trying to figure a way out of the hole they're in. And that's okay. You know, it's not one of those movies that everyone it's like she's not the only one with a curse. You know what I mean? Like a lot of times you have a movie like Brave, which is not, it's a fantastic movie, but the whole thing is that she messed up, and because she messed up, she's seen the consequences. But these is a group of people where they've all messed up in something. They're all in a hole they have to get out of, and it's just by them getting together and understanding each other that they get out of it. And it's very brave for a movie that could be considered a kids movie because of the animation that takes a topic like that. The idea that not necessarily because we're different or because we don't, a lot of times what separates us from each other is that we don't understand each other. And this is all about all these characters understanding where each of them is coming from. Because not until they click in these different areas that literally the curses stop slowing them down and they start becoming better. And I appreciate this movie a lot for this.
Yeah, man, same here. The movie I was thinking about earlier was From Up on the Poppy Hill. That's like one of the shorter ones. But yeah, Howl's Moving Castle, the characters just, like you were saying, the way they handle the curses in this movie, it's just really well written, and it plays to the themes amazingly. And that's why I love this movie. I had to put it on my list. It's just, it's phenomenal. Isaac, my man, where are we going for number 4, man?
I wonder, have some of you watched Kiki's Delivery Service here?
Yes, I love me some Kiki's, bro.
It's on the list.
Fun fact: do you know what the place, the whole city she is living in, is inspiration by?
No, what is it?
Stockholm and Gotland here in Sweden.
Oh wow! So you probably recognize some of the stuff, huh?
Yeah. He tried to get the rights to Pippi Långstrump, or however you're calling it in in English, from Astrid Lindgren, but she denied him, and then he saw the whole city and took inspiration for it. They went back to Stockholm, took about 80 bottles of film and just used it as inspiration for how to draw the entire city. But however, why I like this movie, it's sort of like, there is a coming of age story. A girl trying going on her own, trying to live her life, and learning bit by bit from people that she meets, experience, all that jazz, while also realize it's not as easy as she might think from the beginning. You get what I'm saying?
Oh, absolutely.
Yep.
Kiki's is definitely a top. I mean, Kiki's Delivery Service is magical. It's what I love about it is those shots where she's flying over the city and you just get to see all those wonderfully glowing buildings while she's wisping through the air. It's such great animation. And you're right. It's a very cool little coming of age, easy to follow story. I mean, for most of it, she is delivering the boxes and just getting to know people. So it's pretty coming of age. You think it's magic going into it, and there's a little bit involved, but like not as much as you would think. And that's kind of what I like about it, is that it's just like a little more casual, a little more easygoing. I see we had Izuku Midoriya in here. What's going on? Yep, it is a live podcast. Join in the comments. But yeah, Kiki's is a great choice. My bad, Perp. I skipped you, man, on the Howl's Moving Castle tip. What do you think about that one?
Oh no, you're good. You're good. Howl's Moving, it's beautiful. Like that movie is just beautiful. Like just all the different colors, and that's just something about like what I just love about anime and just how detailed things can be, and just like it just goes to show you, if you put the time into it, like you could make something just like breathtaking, or just something just beautiful, just making a work of art. And I definitely want to go back. Like, so right now I'm gonna watch these movies in English just to get through them a little bit quicker, and then go back and probably watch them subbed, because I definitely have become like converted into just watching subbed and stuff. But I definitely appreciated Howl's Moving Castle. It just left me um feeling like not like a kid, but like it was hard. It was just like a really it's just something about it, those movies are just really heartwarming. I don't know what it is. It's weird. And it's like I said, I don't get that feeling from watching like a Pixar movie now or or just a Disney movie in general, because I guess that 3D animation kind of takes the soul of the out of the animation and whatnot. But yeah, it's cool. It's cool. I liked it. I really enjoyed it, start to finish. The only, like I said, the only thing about these movies is just like it's weird that it's like almost a 2-hour movie. So getting past that, even though that doesn't bother me, it's just like it's something I just kind of just gotta get adjusted to and whatnot.
No, I completely understand it, and it really wraps you up for those 2 hours. Like you're really wrapped up in it and encased in the world. So it's super imaginative. Brandon, what do you think about Kiki's Delivery Service, man?
I haven't seen it. I have it. I bought it. My wife has seen it, but I have not seen it yet. So,
oh man.
So I'm gonna hold my I'm gonna hold my tongue. I'm gonna
for shame, good sir.
Hey. That's fine. I know. Well, here's the thing. I know it's one of the more classic ones, but I will watch it soon.
Yeah, I think it's their third. Correct me if I'm wrong, Isaac. I think it might be their third one. Maybe even their second.
About that. I'm unsure about that, if I shall be perfectly honest.
It might be their second or third, but it kind of has that hint of old school anime vibe, kind of on the Dragon Ball tip. It's kind of got that same feel. But I'll just go ahead and toss the baton to you then, man. What's your number 4?
Me?
Yeah, Brandon, my bad.
Okay, no, you're fine. Princess Mononoke. That's my number 4. Beautiful animation, very mature story, and just this beautiful picture of nature. And again, it's another. This one, I think, more than Castle in the Sky. This one really is a contrast about the idea of industrialization, and it's like a more, like I said, it's a more mature movie because of what it's trying to say. But I like the main character. I forgot the name, which is the prince that is Ashitaka, yeah, Prince Ashitaka. That I like him because the best good character is the character that doesn't have to change. Like one of the things that the Russos understood about the character of Captain America was that you don't make a great Captain America movie by making him darker or by making him different. No, you do it by allowing him to be who he is, but exposing him to all the darkness around him, which is the thing that I'm angry that Warner Brothers doesn't get about Superman. But that's a different story. I had to. But I like how he is this force of good, of logic, of understanding in the midst of these two warring factions of the spirits of the forest, which are all represented beautifully, even though that forest spirit is super weird and even weirder when they cut off his head. But like the wolves, the boars, and then this woman that just wants to be respected and give. Because here's the thing, the people that we call the villain, which is this lady that's literally drilling coal out of the mountain, she is giving purpose and a good life to people that everybody hated and exiled from their own lands. You know what I mean? So you can't really say who's good or who's bad. There's a lot of gray in this movie, which is why to me the story is so interesting. And of course, the music. We gotta keep going to the music. I don't think there's a conversation of a Studio Ghibli movie that you can have without Double Down talking about how beautiful the music is and how it blends perfectly with all the emotional moments of the film. Um, and it's pretty awesome. Also, I do find it pretty interesting how Princess Mononoke, she's a very interesting character, but I like how she's like a force of nature because of her upbringing. I don't know. I
Oh yeah.
philosophize a lot about all these movies. I know I talk way too deep, but I just love how there's so much to talk about and how deep you can go in these films. And a lot of them, even the most simplest ones, say so much. And this one says so much that it's one of my favorites. That's why it's on my list.
Oh, absolutely, man. It's on my list as well. It's definitely higher, but I mean, you really said the most about it. It just it burns in my mind to this day, like Ashitaka, the princess. Each character is just so well defined in this movie, and it is another Studio Ghibli movie, along with I would say Nausicaa, that really does
Yeah.
really give you a look at how industrialization destroys nature and what it does, and that this is a war between nature and humans. I mean, essentially. And you're right, Mononoke, she's a character, she's a force to reckon with. I think her name is San, excuse me, is a force to reckon with, and she's just so, like, I don't want to say wild, but like she's just so strong and like you were saying, a force of nature. I really like that character, and she's voiced by Tara Strong, who is an amazing voice actor. So I really love this movie. Honestly, it's near and dear to my heart. Used to watch it all the time when I was younger. Now that I have HBO Max, I'm gonna be watching it a lot more. So yeah, this is on my list too. And I got to go with my number 4 actually, which is Ponyo. Kirk was actually talking about this. What's that, Isaac?
But I'm just humming on the theme. I just got it in my head when you mentioned it.
Of Mononoke?
On Ponyo.
Oh, Ponyo is just the music, first of all, is so beautiful. I mean, it goes wonderfully with the pretty innocent tale. I mean, it's child love, and it's, you know, this creature morphing into a human. And what's so brilliant about it is the colors, the animation style, of course, of Studio Ghibli is without a doubt amazing. But just kind of, it shows what a restrictive parent can really do to a child, and like how it could take them away from their growth, because Ponyo needed to grow up and needed to become the full human she was supposed to be. And her dad was just holding her back the whole time, and who was voiced by Liam Neeson. I thought that was super cool. Kirk,
that literally sounds like Michael Jackson's life.
yeah, sadly. Really, I mean, sadly. Like, it luckily it didn't get dragged out in this film, and he realizes that it's wrong, but just that's the effects it could have, you know, making the child want to do the opposite. And she, of course, she does. But what's so wonderful about it is this innocence and how it's just this very small, pretty small story, but of course in a big world, in its own defined world, with all these kind of different, with all this different lore, of course, with the fish who morph into humans. And it's just really cool. I really enjoy this movie. I actually watched it for the first time recently, and it jumped up into my top. I know it's not in a lot of top lists, but of course, because of the music, the animation, and just the overall story and themes, I enjoyed it a lot. I'm gonna go to you first, Isaac. What'd you think?
Fun fact: guess who has the English voice of Grandmanare? Oh, say that in 10 times fast.
Wait, what did you
guess
ask?
who has the voice of her? The water spirit. Guess who the English voice actor is for her?
Oh, who is the voice actress?
Kate Blanchett.
Oh, I knew I recognized that voice somewhere. Kate
But yeah.
Blanchett. Hell yeah.
But yeah, anyway, Ponyo is just a movie that just scream. It's one of the movies that whenever I get a kid, this is one of the first Ghibli films I will show it because it's so charming and just so, dare I say, adorable in a more fantasy style way. Because
Yeah.
it's a more movie to watch.
It really is. I mean, and it's casual. It's easy to put on and just kind of dive into the story. Brandon, what do you think about Ponyo?
I think what I like about this movie is that if there was ever a movie that tries to explore the limitless imagination of children, it's this one. Because literally the way Ponyo, how she does all these things have to do with how powerful her imagination is. And all the things that she does after she meets this boy, and how they relate to each other, and how they take care of each other, and especially towards the end, where everything literally, like, it's like you have a champagne that you're shaking and it just explodes, because towards the end of the movie, everything's exploding with water, with color, and everything like that. It's a really fun film. It's nice.
Yeah, it's super fun. It's real laid back and cool. I enjoy the movie a lot. I like the lore of the film. And I really like this movie a lot just for pretty much everything. All right, guys, I'm going to kind of shake things up a little bit here just for the sake of time and also to getting to our other discussion topic. We're going to go straight to our number one and our favorite Studio Ghibli movie. And I'm going to flip flop the order a little bit. And I'm going to go to you first, Brandon. What is your favorite Studio G film, man?
Whisper of the Heart.
Both of you guys?
Yep. It's funny because I was ready to go Grave of the Fireflies for my number 2, but you took that away from me. It's okay. So how about we do this? Since I know that both me and Isaac love that, let's talk Grave of the Fireflies and Isaac talks Whisper of the Heart. Fair?
That works.
So Grave of the Fireflies. Have you guys seen this movie?
Yes. I saw it once, man, and that was enough for me. It broke my heart.
Enough. That is enough. Have you seen it, Pert Minded?
Nah, I always seen two Ghibli movies.
Okay. So this movie, it's one of those films that, apart from it being, I don't want to say it's very depressing. It's just that it is very hurtful to watch it because of how raw and real it is. And I think it's what makes this movie an amazing feat is that a lot of people underestimate the power of storytelling in an animated form. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of people, just because it's animated, they think it's not going to be that deep, or it's not going to shake you to your core. You know what I mean?
That's facts. That's facts.
And this is the kind of film that does that. Like especially, and I don't mean to spoil anything for you, Pert Minded, because I know you're going to watch this movie sometime, but this is one of those movies that gives you some piece of information, and you know this piece of information throughout the entire of the film. But even though you knew this piece of information, when you get towards that point in the film where it coincides, it still destroys you like a ton of bricks. You know what I mean? Like, and I think it has to do with how real it is. It's literally two kids, an older brother and a younger sister, that they're trying to survive in war-stricken Japan. It's very raw. It's very real. It paints a clear picture of how things were during World War II. And it does have certain fantasy elements that keep the storytelling fresh, because it is a long film. I mean, it feels long because of the subject matter, but this film it's fantastic. It's like Steven Spielberg has Schindler's List. Ghibli has Grave of the Fireflies, and I would even say Grave of the Fireflies, it's better than Schindler's List. But that's a different story. But yeah, this movie.
Whoa.
Yeah, I said.
You know, I look. It's hard for me to disagree with you on that. Like they're just both so good.
Right.
Grave of the
And the subject-
Fireflies. What was that?
No, go ahead.
No, you had something to say.
No, and they talk. They're not the same subject matter. I mean, in the subject matter they're training, I mean, they're both talking about very delicate things, you know.
Yeah.
But they go about it in a way through the means of art. Like, if you're looking for a movie, like if I think the best way I can say it, if you wanted to know how talented the people at Studio Ghibli were, and how serious they are with their storytelling technique, and how they use story, and how they build scenes, and how they build moments, this is that movie. Even though it's hard to watch.
I might have to go check this out tonight then.
It is hard to watch because
I watched it one night before going to bed.
We being like hard to watch, like violent? Because if it's violent,
it's just very hard. It is very heartbreaking.
Yeah.
In subject matter, there's not like there's no violence, but there is definitely it hits you right in the heart because it's a very sad tale, like very, very sad.
Yep.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I'm curious. I'm curious to check that out though, because like I like those types of stories. Like I feel like I guess how you could kind of put it into one term, like a thought-provoking type of movie.
I wouldn't say it's thought-provoking. I think it's one of those movies that shows you that there's a certain type of darkness in our world that a lot of people walk away from, but you need to accept that these things happened in this world. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You need to accept that these horrible things happened, that happened to people, that happened to adults, that happened to kids. And forgetting about those bad moments is not how you move on. It's by learning about these tragedies that you become better. But it does it in a way that it's like you don't want to, like, after you've seen it, it's like one of those movies that you watch once and you've watched enough, but it just stays with you. Like the other day I work in a car dealership, and I take care of customers and I was walking a customer out and she put her phone down, and her screensaver was a screenshot of the little sister.
Oh my goodness.
And I was like, no. I'm like, what are you doing to me? What are you doing? and she started laughing. Yeah. And she started laughing. And I was like, she was laughing not because of that, but she was laughing like, you're one of two people that understood what that picture was. Because even like the people that watch this movie have this emotional connection because that movie just shakes you, bro.
That's an understatement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is it called again?
Grave of the Fireflies.
Okay, all right. I'm gonna watch that tonight.
It's not The Last of Us related, but it's
Nah. Because it sounds like my type of like stuff that I'm into. Like
cool.
one of the I know this is off topic. I'm gonna keep it short, but
oh, no worries, bro.
Like The Leftovers on HBO. That to me is the best TV show possibly of all time, and not many people know about it. And just the themes that it talks about and how like relatable it is now more than ever. Just imagine a scenario where 2% of the world's population just disappears without an explanation. Nobody knows why, nothing, and it's all about just the effects that has on the people that are still here and stuff. And it's brilliant. It's brilliant. But like I definitely want to check out that movie though.
That's a Lindelof show, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I heard about that show ever since I watched Watchmen, which is phenomenal, and I have it. I think I have it on my HBO Max list to watch Leftovers. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a must watch. That's a must watch.
Yeah, I got it queued up on mine since you've been talking about it, Perp. It sounds like such a good show.
Bro, because when anybody brings up like their favorite show, it automatically triggers me because it's like, bro, you have not like it. Literally will it will literally change your perspective on just how television shows are made. Like it
That's
gives you
amazing.
it's dope.
That's like that. I find it funny. Imagine us in the same room. And it's like your favorite show. You have not seen your favorite show yet. Watch this
Yeah,
show.
like when people say, "Oh, Game of Thrones is the best," I was like, "Are you sure? Have you not seen the leftovers?" Like,
And have you not seen season 8? Whew.
Sweet.
yeah. But yeah, I just
Oh,
wanted
That was
to
a
man.
low blow, Leo.
Did you like season 8?
No,
All right, so
but still,
there you go. It's just the truth.
It's just true.
Isaac, what are your thoughts on Grave of Fireflies, man?
He took the word out of my right of my mouth because it's not much I can say without going into spoiler territory.
Yeah, it's such a sad tale that I told myself, I was like, I can't even go watch that again. And I don't think it's on HBO Max yet. They might get it, but
Oh no, it's
maybe
there. That's where I watched it.
it is?
It-
No,
that's-
man, I thought I checked and it wasn't there. I guess. Did they
that-
add it recently?
That's where I watched it. Like I watched it like maybe a month and a half, 2 months ago.
Really? They have
And-
Grave? HBO Max?
they've been slowly like updating their certain lists, like Studio Ghibli stuff. Like I definitely see a lot more anime on there now.
Yeah, that first day anime list was pretty weak.
Yeah, I was like, who chose these animes? Like, Jesus, bro. Like y'all was like sat in the boardroom, like, yeah, we're gonna get this one. We're not gonna put Naruto, Dragon Ball, If Attack on Titan does not pop up on the Crunchyroll hub, I'm going to be upset.
Like it should be there.
I lied. I think I watched it on Hulu. I think it's on Hulu.
Okay, all right. I'm not gonna go back and watch it, but that's for you, Perp. It's on Hulu. So
I'm gonna watch it because if it wrecks me, I'll be like, damn, I see what they're talking about though.
It's like I ain't talking about. I'm not talking with the Scarlet Fan guy. He's gonna wreck me again.
oh man. So Isaac, your favorite, sir. I think we all know it, but
Yeah.
what's your favorite, my man?
It's Whispers of the Heart, which is a romance story between two young adults that sort of like find each other then and kind of is annoyed by each other, but they learn through the other's experience, and while also finding their own place, sort of like Kiki's delivery service, and it just the relationship between the two feels extremely organic, which is something I much prefer much like in this type of stories. I wouldn't even go say that it's a make it or break it moment in movies like this. And it's a feel good movie that I can, if I'm feel that I need something to light me up, and this movie is a perfect way to do so.
Yeah, Whisper is like so amazing. The music, especially used in this movie, is just so very heartfelt and it's wonderful. What I really like about this movie is that the couple in this movie really like improved each other. They kind of like were necessary for each other. The girl got really inspired after she met I can't remember names, but I think it was Seiji in the movie,
yeah.
and what was the girl's name? Shizuku.
Shizuku.
Yeah. When they met each other, it's just like her being exposed to his world allowed her to gain the confidence to really expand on her talents. And I thought that was really profound. It was kind of like that's somebody who you really could be with, you know, somebody who really helps you develop your own craft and really get into your own work. So it was really cool. Of course, Seiji was making like violins. Like that was a pretty unique skill to be doing. And like I just thought that even the art of him crafting the violins and the animation of that was very cool, and it felt very real and believable. And the whole tale is just really cool. And I like how when she tells her story, it does the animation. And of course, we get the cat.
The Baron.
Yep, the Baron. And I just really like that movie a lot. It was actually my number 2, right after Princess Mononoke, which we've already talked about. But it's easily like a top 3 Studio Ghibli film. Is all around, beginning to end, just a great movie and wonderfully voice acted, just like the rest of them. And it gets you wrapped up in the world a lot.
Agreed.
Brandon, thoughts on Whisper?
Take me home, country road, to a place
I love
belong. Bro, the fact that song was in the DNA of this movie, I find it hilarious. But at the same time, the way it's used in cute moments that brings different characters together was pretty magical. I love this movie. Like I love this movie. And I think, like you guys have said, to not reiterate too much, but what makes this couple so unique and interesting is the fact that they don't just fall head over heels. They bump into each other and recognize each other and what they're capable of, and they find out that they were capable for a lot more than they thought they would, especially in the case of Shizuku. And she becomes this amazing writer, and she becomes this person with this imagination. She pushes herself to be better, just to be somewhere with this kid, but also for herself. And I like it. Like, it's not like a kid. It's not like this girl trying to just impress the guy. Like, she's literally finding courage to follow her own dream. And I like that they did it that way, as opposed to what you normally see, that it's just about impressing the guy and that's it. You know what I mean? Mostly in American media, they always construct these characters that are real, and that if you were to take, this is one of those perfect Ghibli movies that if you were to take this story and make it live action, it will translate amazingly if it's well acted. You know?
Agreed.
I would even say, and I know we're going to segue there later, but like this is the kind of movie that I would like to see a fantastic live action adaptation, because the story, I think, is timeless.
Yeah, and I think it wouldn't be too hard to cast people to do this, and I think it wouldn't require like the aid of CGI and things like that. I think it could be very organic in a live action version, and it would be easiest to do, which actually will be a perfect segue into talking about live action anime. If you guys don't mind, we could just flip right into that and talk just a little bit about some of these adaptations. I mean, I'm gonna start us off with my favorite adaptation, which was recent, and it's actually tied for another one that we had already mentioned before the stream. And my favorite is actually Aleta. And
thank God. I thought you were going to say Death Note. Oh, Jesus.
Oh my God!
Oh no! No!
Reminded. I'm really glad that you don't know our friend Landon.
Oh man! Anybody that likes that, I'm sorry, bro. I like Dragon Ball Evolution was another thing, because I don't even think that movie exists to this day.
I saw that movie on opening night.
But if you like Death Note, it's just that made me mad.
Let me get this straight.
Japanese adaptation, live action, is decent at least.
Let me get this straight, Reminded. Are you telling me that you're like Rick Sanchez? As soon as Dragon Ball Evolution came out to your reality, you skipped it and went to a different dimension? Is that what you're trying to say?
Pretty much. I live in that alternate timeline where
that movie never came out. I like how you think.
Man. and that's the thing. Like when you know, because it's kind of funny how as of recent, I know we're talking about live adaptations of like anime, but when we see these live adaptations of like these comic book movies and they're not done right, or people are not liking the new Star Wars movies, I have never seen the outrage and stuff, and just how that's just created some of the like the worst shit I've ever seen. Like I don't understand that, but that now see I lost my train of thought, but yeah, I think I think it's definitely possible. You know what I'm saying? As far as live action adaptations, I think they should just start off slow and start off with like the smaller stuff, and then work their way up to like the Dragon Ball Z's and the Naruto's and stuff. Because
Yeah.
some of that stuff is not going to translate well to like people that aren't used to, you know, used to watching anime and whatnot. So
They are doing a live action One Piece TV series.
Yep.
They have supposedly leaked script online, and last I checked, they are doing casting calls for a live action Naruto movie, which Avi Arad is producing. Oh, ugh. So
You know, I that to me kind of makes me cringe. Not gonna lie. The One Piece, I'm curious to see how that comes out. There's a Cowboy Bebop coming up. Apparently they have the full cast for that as well. I'm sure you guys have seen that.
It's in production.
Yeah, it's already in production. It's headed here. It's on the way. So I'm curious to see that and see what they do with that, because, I don't know. Netflix doesn't have a really good live action anime record for me. I didn't like the Full Metal Alchemist. I didn't like Death Note.
They didn't do that. They were just distributed that one. But yeah,
they didn't do the FMA.
The Bleach live adaptation, that one was actually all right.
Yes, it was.
I was like, all right, this is cool. I could see, like, you know, you don't have to stuff the whole entire story of Bleach into just like one movie. You just take certain, you know, episodes or something like that.
Do we know if there is a sequel to that one?
I don't think there's a green light.
Yeah, I don't think there's a green light, but of course, being the anime movie that it is, and based on that particular show, I'm pretty confident. If I remember correctly, it ends like on a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
But going back to Aleta, you were talking about Aleta, Leo. I don't know if you guys know, but we actually started our podcast talking about Aleta. Almost 2 years ago. Yeah. Our first 2 episodes were all on Aleta, Battle Angel. And I have to agree with you, man. I mean, I think Aleta is the pinnacle of any kind of adaptation. It's the best that's ever been made. I think it was made by the right people. It was made at the right time with the right technology. But more than anything, I think the best thing about that movie is how concise it is. Because the problem of a lot of adaptations is that they try to do a lot in so little time. Which is why, for example, of the 3 movies of the Rurouni Kenshin trilogy, to me, the most sluggish one is the middle one, because it feels the need to introduce so many characters at the same time. So it's mostly exposition as opposed to just moving the story forward all the time. But Aleta Battle Angel, they build it in set pieces. The characters that they picked were fantastic. The fact that they picked key moments of the manga and translated it with so much ease. The music was phenomenal. Rosa Salazar, amazing as Aleta. The CG animation was fantastic. I know Isaac hates the dude that plays the boyfriend. Christoph Waltz was fantastic. That's the kind of thing I want to see more. And I like the fact that the anime loving community showed that, they showed their support of this film, which is why which is why I think we gotta say that this movie did something that others didn't. They did so much right, man. They did so much right.
I agree.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that movie. I mean, you bring in two big world builders in Robert Rodriguez and James Cameron, that it creates this huge, massive world in Alita that you're sucked into from the very beginning. I actually was on the way to see this movie at a premiere screening, and it was snowing like hell outside. And I trekked my fucking way all the way probably to a town like 30 minutes away from where I worked to go see this. And man, I walked in, I was like wet from the snow. But as soon as I threw those glasses on for IMAX, wow, I was immersed in what I saw. The animation was to the highest power, to be honest with you. Like you could tell they put every little detail they could into that 170 million budget they went in with. I love this movie. It's animated well. It's not hokey looking, like nothing looks fake or unbelievable. Especially to have a character like Ed Screen's character who only had like his head, where the rest of the body was like some kind of machine part. It really made you still believe that this could be happening, and that was just so well done on their part by building that lore and really getting us into the world. And of course, Christoph Waltz is amazing as usual, but Rosa Salazar did an amazing job as Alita. I mean, her heart was in it. She was really believable and really just super charming and easy to really enjoy and follow through the story. So I really love this adaptation. And I watched the special, the original version animation of this movie. I loved it. And I watched it right before watching this movie, and I thought that it really got a lot of things right in that animation, because it was about the same. Like there was a ton of different shots borrowed from that animation. So I like that they referenced the source material while creating this. So I just really love this one. Perp, what do you think, man? You thought I was gonna say Death Note, man. That's on my least, like bottom 3 probably.
Yeah, I was messing with you, but yeah, Alita just goes to show you that it's definitely possible, like for any of these anime adaptations to go live action. Not all of them need it. Like Attack on Titan could definitely work. Like if you got the right people, you get the original creator that worked on the anime or the manga or whatever, and you get them with a James Cameron or something like that, do the same thing. But you can make it work. But I think overall, my thoughts on Alita though, that was a huge movie. I wasn't expecting it to be that good, even though some people say the third act kind of fell off. But it is what it is. But yeah, yeah, that's what I got.
Right on. Yeah, that would be my favorite one. Isaac, what is your favorite live action adaptation?
Honestly, it has to be Bleach.
I gotta watch that, Dan.
Because
I watched it.
I have a soft spot for Bleach, and I think
Bleach is great.
That live action adaptation was actually pretty good. Was it perfect? No, but not in the slightest. But it was, as a Bleach fan, it did a phenomenal job catching the spirit of Bleach, and just didn't try to rush through the entire series or something, if you know what I mean. It just took an arc, did a good job in the pacing, execution, and all that. Yes, and I argue that they found the right people for the cast, and I hope we're getting a sequel greenlighted soon.
I'm glad to hear you guys like this, because I actually intentionally have been avoiding it, because I'm like, I don't know, a lot of these live action adaptions are just really bad. I avoided Dragon Ball Evolution for the longest time.
I saw that
And
opening night.
there was no way,
Every
man.
time you say that, Isaac, a part of my, you know how the Grinch's heart grows bigger, mine grows smaller. Every time you say that, I've heard you
Oh.
say that so many times, and I hurt with you.
That movie hurt, and after seeing that movie, I was like, I don't
haven't
really want to
seen it.
watch anymore.
Yeah, don't.
Save yourself, man. Or if you do watch it, do like Perp and go to a different dimension, and then that way you won't have to ever recall what you just saw. But what are your thoughts on the Bleach movie, Brandon? Because I actually haven't seen it. I wish I had.
I liked it, and to second what Isaac was saying, the reason I liked it is because it captures the spirit of Bleach. Like you can see, it's like, because when you have a live action adaptation, there's a lot of things that you look for, but the primarily thing as a fan of the source material is you want to be convinced that these are the characters that you're reading about. You want to be convinced that they're bringing these characters to life faithfully. And I think that is this movie's biggest victory. Like they capture, like, you believe that he's Ishigo. You believe that that she's the lady. You believe that that's Bakuya. You believe that that's Renji. Like, when you see them, and the effects are very decent. I mean, they're not as good as, for example, Aleta, but you can tell that they maximize their budget in a way that's very satisfying.
And you see the potential.
Yeah, exactly. Like pretty much, if this were to be a pilot or a proof of concept, they blew everyone out of the water. Like, it was amazing. And for it being a Bleach thing, like, bro, pretty decent training montage too. Like, come on, bro. Like, it's good. It's good.
Yeah, what are your thoughts, Perp?
On the Bleach? Oh, yeah. I gotta rewatch it, but because I only watched it once, but I was pleased with what I saw. I was like, okay, this is not bad at all, because this is only like, they were only covering like X amount of episodes. I was like, okay, so see, now you could do it like that, and they can make I guess it's gonna switch up. They could make a DBZ movie, just like that, unless because with that you would have to either cut out all the extra stuff in between it, or just do the whole thing, or you can't. You gotta. I don't know. It's hard to please everybody,
Right.
But in that
They
sense.
could do the Raditz saga, I think, in a movie. If done well and done right, I think they could.
See me, like, if I were to do it, I would. If I was doing the Saiyan saga, I would completely probably cut Raditz out of the movie, maybe.
Oh,
and
go
just
straight to Vegeta.
Have be Nappa and Vegeta coming down, just straight up, and just looking
Shoot,
for.
that'd be tight too, man. I'd be down for that.
Or maybe I'll have the twist. My version. I'll have it. Vegeta is Goku's brother, or whatever.
Or here's the thing. I think what you do to make that work, and this is me, permission to go crazy. This is how you would do that. You go Kofu, you treat Dragon Ball Z like the first Kung Fu Panda. Now, the whole thing about Kung Fu Panda is that you have this quote unquote chosen one that doesn't understand his powers or whatever, but then you have the villain on the other side of the story beating different champions in the background.
Okay.
Make that person Vegeta. Make the different people all the Z Warriors. And you build up to him getting to Goku. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, that'd be crazy.
That could be pretty crazy.
You know what I mean? Because then you have these build-up moments, but you got Goku, and you can do a training montage because he's not there yet or whatever. But it's one of those things where that kind of battle, it's so hard to do without it needing to be a sequel. You know what I mean? Like you need to
Yeah.
establish Goku. You need to establish who what he is for Earth before bringing someone like Vegeta along. That's the only reason the whole Vegeta Saiyan Saga thing works, because Goku's already considered the hero. He beat Piccolo.
Yeah.
He just beat
Yeah.
King Piccolo.
Hmm.
And that's one of the biggest challenges I think the live action adaptations have, because people want to make live action adaptations about the most popular things, but the most popular animes are like 600 episodes long.
Yeah.
So you have
Right.
no idea what to grab, which is why Bleach, going back to that, did such a great job, because, like you said, Perp, they chose, and this is not a spoiler, but technically, just to give you an idea, they made the final boss a hollow that's important in Ishoka's life, but they didn't make him like a huge deal. You know what I mean? But they picked an enemy personal enough to make it a meaningful final battle, but they spend most of the show building the characters up. Most of the movie build the characters up, so it makes sense. So they made specific choices. They chose to leave stuff out, but they put enough stuff in to make it interesting. Like they knew what they were doing, which is why Aleta did so well too. Because Aleta, you watched the OVA, Leo. I was reading the manga when I was getting ready to watch the movie. And there's so many moments from the manga that are done paper to screen in that movie. That to me just blew my
Wow.
mind every time. Yeah. Like the whole thing with her being with one arm completely destroyed, boosting herself from the ground and taking his eye out. That's panel per panel, bro.
That's what I'm talking about, man. I love when they adapt it from the source material panel shot for shot like that.
Yep.
Like
And go ahead.
I was about to say, like, imagine seeing they're able to put out multiple Bleach movies, and then we get to the part where Ichigo gets confronted by Grimjow or something. I know that's a spoiler too, but that'd be crazy just to see
Yeah,
that.
that'd be dope.
See that live action. See what Grimjow did to Ichigo live action. That'd be.
Ooh, you speaking my language now. I'd be down for that movie.
That'd be brutal.
I got a couple questions for the room here from Izuku Midoriya. Have any of you all seen Soul Eater or Blue Exorcist? And yes, I've seen both.
Soul Eater is amazing. I love
Yeah,
that.
it is.
That's one of my favorites.
Yeah, I've seen both.
I have seen neither. I have to get on that. I have a backlog. Minded, the reason I mentioned that when Isaac gives you a list, you have a list, is because I have a list. There's a lot of stuff that I haven't seen yet.
I have seen about 600 plus animes throughout the year.
Damn.
Wow.
That is why he's Doc Isaac. Mad Doc.
Is it exactly 600 or over 600?
600 plus.
Damn.
That's a way of being honest.
I started watching animes when I was 13, and I'm now 28. So
I hear that, bro. Has anybody jumped on that God of High School yet? Wow,
Yeah.
what a great second half to that episode. Because the first half, I was like, all right, where are we going? But when they got into the Battle Royale.
Yeah, I could see why this is so hyped up though. Because it's definitely super hyped. It's super hyped. But
Did you like it?
Yeah. I definitely enjoyed it because I'm curious to see where this is gonna go. As far as the battle royale aspect of it, and what's gonna be like the second half, like who's gonna be like the villain, like the surprise villain, because there's definitely gonna be like a shady character somewhere looming in the shadows or something like that. So that's what I'm looking for.
Like one hidden fighter that's just like supremely powerful, and he'll be a challenge enough for the main guy. And then we had another question. Does anybody watch Oigairu? I don't watch that anime, but somebody was asking if anybody watched season 3 of that anime.
Nah, I never heard it.
Me neither. Isaac, have you watched that?
I haven't seen it, but my sister has.
Oh, so nice.
Nice. I think we've pretty much been talking a lot about anime we think could work. What is everybody's least favorite? I think that we could read the room and say it's Dragon Ball Evolution, unless I'm wrong.
The live action adaptation of Attack on Titans.
Full Metal Alchemist.
Oh my god. Yeah,
Yeah, Attack on Titan was
that was
weird.
bad.
Yeah, to me, Full Metal Alchemist, it hurts me the most because that is my favorite anime.
Well, it's quite obvious considering your profile pic here.
Don't be mean, Isaac. I don't come here judging your Smash. No.
What?
Well, you got King DDD Smash, your Nintendo. I'm sorry. but
Puppet Master next, young sir.
but yeah, the Full Metal Alchemist hurt me so much because it's another one. It's one of those movies where you see the potential. Like the trailers had me so excited. Like the first time I saw Al and how they were gonna do him, I was like, "What? This looks crazy." I hated the wig though, but Al looks crazy. And then the story was garbage, and they made so many bad choices, and you're like, why are they doing this? It could have been so simple to just do that first arc of the show, but I don't know. They just did so many things wrong, man.
Yeah, yeah, they really didn't hit any nails on the head in that anime. I'll admit that when I was watching it, it was so bad that I kind of took myself out of it because I was like, this is so bad. They really just didn't. There were some characters that were wrong, even though Alphonse looked cool. Sometimes the walking was funny, and when it was actually finally executed, I wasn't impressed at all. And honestly, I haven't went back since it came to Netflix back in like 2018, and I don't think I'm going to revisit that ever in my life. It's kind of down there with Evolution for me.
Yeah.
Don't even watch the live action adaptation of Attack on Titan. It's horrible.
Is that worse?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really like the budget does not like help that shit at all. But
And they're cutting key characters also.
yeah.
And I do mean key characters.
Wait, what? Who'd they cut out?
Armor Titan for once.
Armin was cut out?
Armor Titan. The dude that is the Armor Titan.
Oh,
That's bad.
weak sauce.
Yeah.
Forgive me for going on a tangent, but I do have to ask: is anybody reading the manga?
No, absolutely not right now.
Oh,
No, I'm not either.
But
boy.
but people are telling me that like when they're saying like this is about to be the best season of an anime of all time.
Oh, dude, you have no idea.
You have no idea.
You have no idea.
Also, I saw a rather weird one recently when it comes to live action. Have anyone of you heard of The Disastrous Life of Psyche K?
Yeah.
Sounds familiar.
I seen it on Netflix.
It's
Like,
about
I haven't seen any.
pink-haired guy that has the supernatural power. Is very social, but has some weird-ass friends, and a girl, the most popular girl, is just desperate to get his attention. And just want to be his girlfriend for her because he doesn't even what's the word? Give her any reaction when she tries to talk at him. You know that kind of behavior. And I saw live action of that one, and it was quite interesting because the casting were everything from actors from 1979 to 99, and you can clearly see the age difference between each actor, and it was an interesting experience.
I
When
think
you
I
say,
could.
go ahead.
I was just gonna say. I think I could say that for probably about 75 to 80% of the live action anime I've seen. But what were you saying, Brandon?
No, that what he mentioned, the difference in ages, like for example, that was one of the biggest things that kind of turned me off when I tried to start watching. Um, they have a live action Mob Psycho Korean show. Yeah, apart from them taking the themes of the show and getting them all wrong, none of the characters, the characters they picked for Reiji, which is the master, it feels like so out of place. Like they picked something way too old. They make really weird casting choices. Not that all live action adaptations done by Koreans it's bad, because the one they did for Genero the Wolf Brigade was fantastic. So,
I have not seen that one.
have you seen the movie, the anime Genero?
Mm-mm.
Oh, that movie's
Look
good.
it up. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Genero.
Genero the Wolf Brigade.
Hey, I'll put that on the list.
Have y'all checked? I'm watching this shit right. I'm watching this anime right now. Was it Japan Sinks 2020 on
I was
Netflix?
thinking about to mention that.
It's so weird because like I'm watching it, and it's pretty crazy. I would recommend it because I don't know if it's gonna have a second season or not, considering what the title is.
It's apparently based on a book series, not a manga, but book series by the same name.
Interesting.
Ooh, that's on Netflix.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm on like episode 4 or 5 right now. So
Has anybody taken the time to watch the new Psychopath seasons that came out?
I don't have it available.
No, season 2. So I'm kind of just, it's a little low on the priority list, so I haven't watched it.
Fair.
I didn't really like season 2 that much, but I mean, I'll get to it for sure. I'm really looking forward to Shaman King coming back. I'm not sure when that's supposed to come back, but that's gonna be pretty dope.
I'm excited that Bleach is coming back.
Yeah. Oh my god.
2021 for anime is gonna be insane because I'm pretty sure Vinland Saga season 2 is gonna come out in 2021, and I'm hyped for that. If it's coming out 2022, that's cool too. But like, you still have Attack on Titan, which possibly might get pushed. I don't know, but just gotta wait on that.
And honestly, speaking of psychopaths, is it just me? But that series could work as a live action.
Oh hell yeah! That's anime's Blade Runner.
It could easily work. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you now about adaptations? You guys have seen the Kenshin movies, like all 3, or just the first one?
I've seen all 3. I faintly remember the first, but I remember the second and third more.
Did you know they're making 2 more movies?
What?
Yes, same cast, and they're covering the one arc that was never animated, which is the ending of the series.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, it's about time we get to see that, man.
Yeah, the trailer's on YouTube. I'll send you the link. I can send you the link later. But it's going to be called Rurouni Kenshin, the beginning and the end, literally. And it's literally the same cast, continuation of the same story. And it captures like the final arc of the manga.
Holy smokes. Yeah, it's never been animated, which that's why Rurouni Kenshin doesn't really end.
Yep.
It's weird. It's like Inuyasha just abruptly cuts off of the series. Let's see. We got a couple of comments real quick. Somebody was saying Legendary Anime's been watching anime since 5. Yeah, that's about the same for me, but I don't know 1,000 anime like you do. That's a lot. Let's see. Pop Culture's PB came through, said, "Is Perp winning?" Man, Perp's having a good time, bro.
Salute to my homie PB.
You guys don't watch Sword Art Online? No, Shaman King is the best. I watched Sword Art Online. Not a fan. Got through the first half of the first season. I was like, oh, is it over? Because like I thought the first half was pretty strong, and I was like, oh wow, he finally saved her from the game. Turns out she's in another game.
I'm a
Thank you.
big Sword Art Online fan.
Yeah.
I know you are, man, but
Huge.
as soon as I got to that, I was like, I'm out.
And if you any one of you look up the Amateur Otaku podcast or episodes on Sword Art Online, warning, I have a sailor language during the episode. I am not a fan.
Yeah, I know you are not a fan, Isaac. And Brandon, I know you're a huge fan. Perp, do you like Sword Art Online?
I never watched it.
Good.
You're saving yourself some time, man.
I watched Dot Hack, a little bit of Dot Hack and stuff, like when I was like younger and stuff.
You
Dot Hack was pretty good. It was better than Sword Art.
Saved a lot of time.
Oh, for sure. Because I mean, sorry, Brandon, I don't mean to slay this anime, man, but it just for me.
All I'm gonna say is this. I get that you didn't want to go into another game. To me, what I find fascinating of the show is that it's a good window into the what ifs of virtual reality and the different ways it can go right, the different ways it can go wrong, and the idea of how if relationships are complicated now, how complicated they become when you add an additional layer of reality. And that mixed with all the action and the fantasy and stuff like that, that's why I like it. More so now, not more so now, but also they've made really bold decisions in the direction, like in series 2, and now with Alicization, I enjoy quite a lot. So.
And I'm gonna be allowed to torture you with some obscure old anime as a thank you to watch me suffering through all the season of Sword Art.
Yeah, that anime, I gave it that first season, and then I was like, I just don't know, my guy. But I mean, hey, you know what? There are actually a lot of people really enjoy the anime, and it's definitely not the worst I've seen in the library of anime I've seen. There's definitely been a lot worse. But it definitely it's an acquired taste, and you know, I think I really like and I think I like Akame Got Killed better than I like that. If I had to suggest kind of like a shorter anime that just, I'm sorry, is better than Sword Art Online. Oh, but okay, guys. Were there any more thoughts on live action anime? Is there a certain anime you want to see live action adapted?
Could you imagine Fooly Cooly?
Oh my god!
Hell yeah! Hell yeah! That'll be amazing. Now, original Fully Cooly, or would you do one of the sequels?
The original.
Yeah.
Have y'all watched the other seasons?
Oh hell yeah! We actually covered it in our podcast.
And it was funny because I saw them in order in how they were released, and I was just, wait, what's going on? And apparently that timeline wasn't as I was watching it, so to speak, which made me confused when I saw it, so to speak.
Yeah, because the cool thing about it is 3 seasons, but it's 3 very separate stories. The only same factor is the girl in the Vespa. But apart from the show being crazy in all aspects, but that's like one of the most modern art shows around. A lot of people remember it because it's stupid crazy, but that show is smart, bro. Like that show is like super smart. We like if anybody wants to check out our episode on that on the Amateur Otaku, we talk all things Fully Cooly. We talk about all 3 seasons. But yeah, man, live action Fully Cooly. Yes, I want things coming out of people's heads. Yes.
It'd be wild, you know. People would be like, "What the fuck?"
Exactly, just for that. Either for that, or for go like, I just hope that people don't go like, I want a TV out of my head.
Oh my goodness, yeah, that anime is so good. and it's short, it's sweet. I haven't watched the other seasons yet, but I plan on watching them pretty quickly.
Oh, they're very good.
You know what could work? If they could probably do it better than the anime, which would be very rare to see. But Future Diaries, considering smartphones nowadays, like you could have a Future Diary be a smartphone or something like
Nice.
that.
That would be an interesting one. The one that played Queen of Genero would. She would have a lot of fun, so to speak, with that role.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't even seen that anime. Another one to add to the list.
Yeah, that was pretty wild. That was pretty wild.
And to answer your mention, Isiko, yes, I have seen Your Lie in Apron, and it's pulled the heartstring really well.
I had in my mind just now an anime that they could do live action, and it kind of just flew away. I had it in my head, and it just disappeared.
I really want to see that Fully Cooley one, man.
That'd just be wild.
What do y'all think about the Cowboy Bebop one?
I think that's gonna be all right. I think that's gonna be pretty dope because they besides the one character getting race swapped, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think it's gonna be cool because I forget who's playing. What's her face? Who's playing Faye? What?
She's Latino. She's Latino. I don't remember her name. I think she's like relatively unknown. But I think they have the right cast. Like, I like the guy they picked for Vicious. I think he looks like he can play a very dark demeanor. I like that they chose to go instead of what people will consider going with another white guy or whatever. I like that they picked someone based on their talent, because the guy they picked for Jet, that guy's fantastic. Mm-hmm. Like, I love that guy. Like, I only really know him from Luke Cage, but that guy's good. That guy's really good. So I'm really excited to release to Jet. But John Cho as Spike, I think is inspired. I think that's gonna be very good.
That I'm very excited for. I think he's gonna bring a lot of talent and energy to the role, and I just can see him playing a really good Spike, just laying back and cigarette in mouth. What was that?
Being cocky.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
By the way, speaking of going back to Sword Art, did you know that Netflix is doing a live action adaptation of that one too?
They're doing it just for me, Isaac. Don't ruin it.
It's an anime.
Yep, just for you.
It's not any worse.
It's going to be an anime or a series or a movie?
Live action anime. Live action.
So is that what they're doing with One Piece as well?
Yep.
And it's Netflix that's doing it.
No, is it?
And they did Death Note, right?
Yes.
All right, yeah. So I'm not looking forward to that One Piece then. Well,
I also heard that they're trying to do a live action Promised Neverland, which would be crazy because
Amazon is doing both a movie and a TV show, if my memory serves me right.
Yeah, they're working on that too.
That's crazy. Like, yeah, I think this is gonna be how like last decade has been like the era for like comic book films and stuff. I think this is gonna be this decade is gonna be really big for just anime overall.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like anime, I want to say in the recent last 10 years has blown up.
Mm-hmm.
Like
because of streaming.
For sure. Speaking for myself, I mean, I know I used to watch Toonami, so I used to watch like Tenchi Muyo and DBZ and the whole lineup, Inuyasha, Gundam, whatever Gundam they had on there at the time. So it's kind of cool to see it like get more popular and come to life a little bit in more communities. It's really cool to see people enjoying anime. Hell, I was even watching like Sailor Moon and Pokemon.
Sailor Moon's fire.
What was it? Sailor Moon is fire.
It is.
Is there a live action of that?
Let me check. It wouldn't be so.
They would probably have to switch some things up with Sailor Moon to make it work over here.
Make her older.
Yeah, make them
Yeah.
college. Make them
Yes,
college students or
exactly.
something.
Exactly, because this whole
Easy.
thing with Tuxedo Mask being too old ain't gonna
Yeah.
fly. The Master Roshi days are over, my brother.
Right?
Just have him be a professor or something like that at a college.
There is a
See,
live
but still,
action, the Sailor Moon.
Yeah, it's a show.
Yeah, Pretty Guardian Sailor Moon, a 2003 TV series.
Oh man. I wonder how long that lasted. Only a season. 49 episodes. It had a hell of a run.
Yeah, that's not bad.
That sounds like Power Rangers. The first season only, and that's all it made it to.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Any other thoughts on live action anime that we missed?
No, man. I think we did a lot here. It's awesome. I mean, I'm really hopeful. I think going back to the first one we talked about, I think it's undeniable how good Aleta was and how it made us hopeful for the future of adaptations. And I just hope that a lot of these new adaptations take a lot of inspiration of what Cameron and Rodriguez brought to Aleta. It's authenticity. It's something as simple as understanding the material and what worked, And like, for example, like I think all of us can agree that if they make this Cowboy Bebop adaptation, but they don't take the music aspect of the show seriously, the show's not going to work. Because something about Cowboy Bebop, and I love it, that the idea of Cowboy Bebop, people see the name of the show, right? But Cowboy Bebop, it's literally the brand of art that they created to describe the show is Cowboy Bebop. Which is like if you guys focus on, like, how most animes, when they're prepared for television, they have like the logos of the show in between commercials.
Mhm.
So they have the whole text describing what Cowboy Bebop means, and it talks about how Cowboy Bebop is the mixture of Western, noir, detective, jazz, space. This whole mixture, this potpourri of elements, that's Cowboy Bebop. Which is why the interesting thing about Samurai Champloo is the mixture of Western samurai action and hip hop. Like, you can't have one thing without the other. So I really hope that they focus on the authenticity that make this show what it is. Like you and I, like you were just saying, Pert Minded, if we don't see Akaki Spike, he ain't Spike. Like, I just hope we see those little things there. And it has all the potential to be great. But all we can do is hope.
Yeah. The last thing I can say about live action is that I would love to see someone try to get an attempt of Violet Evergarden, because that story should reach more people.
Yes, it should.
That's a beautiful anime, both in the visual style and the story style. It's easily one of my favorite animes of all time.
That's another anime where CG and animation come together for the betterment of the medium.
And have you seen it, Leo? Purp-minded?
I haven't.
I've heard of it, but I haven't checked it out yet.
It's on Netflix, so if you want to check it out.
Yeah,
I'm definitely
pretty awesome.
Yeah, I'm adding that and Japan Sinks 2020 to my list, because that Japan Sink sounds pretty dope.
Have you seen Beastars?
Yes. Oh my God, I loved.
So
I
good.
keep hearing about that as well, but I'm definitely gonna check out that. What was the Studio Ghibli movie?
Grave of the Fireflies.
Yeah, so I can get wrecked. I'm definitely.
he be over there 2 a.m. with the scotch. This is for you, friends.
I mean, literally.
Also, add a brand new animal on the list.
Brand new animal.
A brand new animal?
Yeah.
Oh, you've been telling me about that. It's on Netflix, isn't it?
Yeah, it's on Netflix too.
Nice.
They're starting to get their stuff together. I just don't like the 3D like anime stuff like that. Shit's weird. Even though Baki is amazing, like Baki is dope. I just seeing that like it's over the top and stuff. Even they should put the original on there too, but
Oh, I'm throwing that on the list. I do want to throw out that Beastars is kind of 3D, but like what they do with it is just brilliant. That story it's a pretty crazy story. At first I was like, I don't know if I like this, but after about 2 or 3 episodes, I got so wrapped up in the characters that I couldn't stop, man. It took me a couple weeks to get to it because the first episode I was like, all right, what's happening with this here? Is it like some weird beast, type series? And when I started watching it, the further I got in, the more I got wrapped up in the characters and just the lore of the show and how it was like treating the carnivores and herbivores. And it was a really good series. And it really hit some good themes of just like kind of succumbing to your temptations and trying to overcome that, especially the negative ones in a society like this where you can't really be just eating animals. Like it's forbidden for the carnivores to eat the herbivores. So it just the things it explores are just so amazing. That anime was really good, a really good Netflix one.
That it was.
Anything else live action, guys?
Nothing I can. Not on the top of my head.
I think we hit it, y'all. Well, guys, check out the Amateur Otaku podcast over on anchor.fm and on Twitter. And check out the Scarlet Fan 52. That's my guy Brandon down in the corner there. Check out Isaac at Emblem Maniac on Twitter. And then check out Perp Minded on YouTube and on Twitter at Perp Minded 420. Guys, it has been a great night, hasn't it?
Yes, it has.
Talking all kinds of anime and things we're looking forward to, live action. I mean, we hit a lot of corners, guys. It was a great episode, and I look forward to having y'all back on another one.
Peace. Thanks, man.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for coming, y'all. All right, peace out, guys. Thanks for coming, Izuku. We had Pop Culture Pop Through and legendary anime JP fan Diego. Guys, thank you for showing up, and we'll see you next time.